Hello and welcome to the Sound Lab podcast interviews unedited. On today's show we have interviews from Akon, Dodgy, Clayton The Fismits, and we throw back to 2020 to chat to the Pussycat Dolls. So without further ado, let's kick off with our first interview, and it comes from Akon. He's just released a brand new record and we had a chat with him all about it. So Akon, how are you?
I'm amazing, man. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad, thanks so much. So after this interview we'll be playing a single of yours called Ringtone. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Man, I'm so excited about this record because if at first it was something that was very annoying that I had to flip into something very positive. Because my phone goes off like a million times a day, and I got this ringtone, and it's probably the most popular ringtone on the iPhone. And it just like constantly going off. So I turned my ringer off. But when I turned my ringer off, the ringtone is still embedded in my head all the time. So being a natural songwriter, I just started writing to the melody of the ringtone. And then I went to the studio to record it. And I said, now what I'm going to do is take the same song and I'm going to add it as a ringtone on my phone. So whenever my phone goes off, at least now I'm going to look forward to hearing it ring. But the song came out so amazing that I said, okay, this has to be a single. I got to drop this record right now because everyone in the world knows this ringtone. It's on a billion phones. There's no way the song can not be successful, right? Yeah, man. So hopefully I can rally all my fans up to actually add it on their phones as a ringtone so I can beat my world record.
I think they will. I think most people will replace it because they're probably like you and want to replace what they've heard for many years with the new track.
uh, that's amazing. That's
Now that
amazing.
it's coming off a new record of yours called Beautiful Day, which is out 24th of April. What can we expect to hear on the record?
Man, listen, just it's gonna be a very well-rounded album. I'm really excited about it. It's kind of just the mindset of where I'm at today. You know, all my albums is all based on my experiences, what I'm going through in life. You know, obviously the Trouble album was a very dark place for me. You know, I'm super locked up, super lonely. Like those are dark times and moments, but a lot of people have related to it. Then of course, as Convicted came, I was a lot more in my space of getting out of that darkness into the light. So I was getting more, success. I was traveling more. I was meeting more girls. So I wanted to smack that. I was trying to love you. You know what I mean? Then freedom came along. Oh wow, my life is figured out. I got a career now. Things are moving in a lot better ways. I'm fixing my own relationships with right now. I want to get back, which we never broke up. And then it goes into meeting more, even the most beautiful woman in the world comes out to miss, so beautiful. And it goes into all these moments where I start talking about my, experiences with freedom. So it kind of gave a whole sum up. But now I'm in a different space, man. I'm so awoke. I've seen life in so many different areas, so many different prospects, and it's just like I wanted to be able to spread some of that knowledge around because I feel like the place where we're at musically today is it's like it reminds me of the dark place I was in before I started, right? And I just feel like music was always supposed to motivate, make people happy, and give you memories. And I think we kind of lost that essence. So I wanted to bring that back.
Nice, yeah, no, that sounds good to me. And the sound that you've made with this record, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of just how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
Yeah, I mean, it came out as I was writing and recording it, but it came out with something that I actually really wanted. I really liked it. Like I really believe that it's gonna do what it's supposed to do for sure.
No, that's good. That's good to hear. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto the record. What happens to those now? Is it a case of trying them again, see if they work further down the line, or will it be a case of starting afresh when the time
Oh
comes?
no, no. All my records always make the albums. They just may not make that particular album. So all my song is also about timing as well too, because I like to release songs that's based on what I'm dealing with per se. Because I've noticed that a lot of things that I'm dealing with as a human being, a lot of people out there are dealing with the same things. So I try to keep my music as relatable as possible. So I always find the right timestamps to release certain records. There's records that I've made back in 2010 that I haven't released yet because the time just ain't right. But I'm as a songwriter, I'm literally at least I would probably say 200-300 songs a year that I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Wow, yeah,
So it's plenty. Yeah,
that's a lot.
yeah, easy.
um, yeah, no, absolutely. And six records in now. How have you and how has the music evolved over those years?
The music has evolved a lot, man. I've been traveling a lot. I've been exploring a lot. I mean, that's gonna be like I'm doing a lot of amazing deep Afro house, Afro Latin. Like it's beautiful, man. I'm really excited about where this is going musically, and I think it's gonna allow people to pivot into some more generational type of music for sure.
Nice. That sounds good to me. And I'd like to talk a bit about the writing process as well. So, for you, how do tracks normally start off?
It normally starts with the tracks first. I always start with the tracks first. I find the melody, find the main leading instrument, and then I build around that. Like sometime it may be a loop, or sometime it may be a sample, or sometime it may just be a melody in my head, and I go on the keyboards and lay it down. And then once I got that bass, then I'm thinking about what the chorus is going to be before I even add the music, because the chorus is what's going to drive what type of instruments that I'm going to use for the song. So I always do a top line first on the instrument perspective. Then I write the top line on the vocals perspective. Then I just build around it.
Nice. Is it quite straightforward to kind of merge both the lyrical side and the musical side together?
Oh yeah, it comes super easy for me, man. Really, really. Sometimes I hear a track and I already got the song in my head from the moment I hear the track. You know,
Nice.
now producing the track to a song, that's a little bit more difficult because you have to find the energy, the feel, and the right instruments that's going to provide you that for that song. But when it's the other way around, when you can write the song to the beat, I move a lot faster and it kind of connects a lot quicker.
Yeah, fair enough. And you do the production side not just for yourself, but for other artists too. Do you
Yeah,
like that? Do you like that side of things, or are you more
I love
rooted
that
to the
side of
performing
things.
side?
Yeah, I love that side of things because that's where I started. I started as a writer, as a producer, and then later when I got introduced to performing, I was like, "Woo, this is a different high right here." I'm loving it. So I love them both, to be honest, equally.
Nice, yeah. And I've gone through some of your credits that you're credited as producing or being featured on. And for you, along with this album, you've got a few featured artists on this record. How do these collaborations come about? Do you go to them? Do they come to you? You probably know them anyway. How do they come about?
The collaboration, they actually, most of my collaborations, none of them were actually choreographed or even thought of. They just happened on the whim, like we bumping, each other and man, like, man, let's do something together. And then we end up doing it. Or we be in the studio and somebody's in the next door and I'm hearing the bumping and I walk in and find out what's going on and be like, whoa, this shit is crazy. Let's rock. Or they may bump into me and be like, yo, God, I've been looking everywhere for you, man. I need a record. Let's get together. So it's always something that just happened spontaneously. It was never nothing that was planned.
Nice. Yeah, no, fair enough. And there's, like
Yeah.
I've said, you've worked with many artists, but there's probably people still out there that you still want to work with. Who's on that list of people you want to kind of work with in either writing or production or music wise?
Man, I've worked with everybody, like literally everybody. If I hadn't did a record with them, I most likely wrote a record for them or produced one for them. But this is the reason why I'm so, you know, I'm so open to working with brand new artists because that's what excites me now. I like working with new talent, people that's hungry, that actually have a whole nother passion for this, that haven't been, diagnosed with all the craziness that comes with this business, right? They're fresh and they just have this huge dream of being successful. And then we do an amazing record, then I warn them what's about to happen next. And you
Yeah.
see their eyes like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I can well imagine. Now people will want to see you playing your new record on the road. You've got a bunch of shows coming up
Yeah.
with Neo. Tell us a bit about your plans for
Yeah,
doing
man.
shows this year.
Yeah, so me and Neo about to go out and it's about to be so crazy. Like, we're so excited. Like, you have no idea. Like, cause we've been trying to get together for a while. We're both writers, we're both producers, and we've worked with other artists in our careers. But a lot of times when you do those kind of collaborations, you never get a chance to tour together. So we're going these jam sessions, writing sessions. Then be like, all right, cool, I'm about to go on tour for another 3 months. And then you see them another 4 or 5 months, 6 months later, and it's the same routine. But oftentimes you be like, yo, we about to go on tour after this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's an amazing moment, man. We're both excited about it.
Yeah, good. I think this
Yeah.
takes you through until kind of towards the end of the summer period. What's the fall and winter time going to hold for you? Is it more touring planned?
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more touring plans. I'm working on another project that hopefully I'll be able to drop by December. I'll most likely be seeing you again promoting that project. But my goal is to constantly keep dropping music and constantly be on that road now, man. I just want to get back to it.
Yeah, I can well imagine. Is there anywhere that you've not been to yet and not played that you want to play at some point?
Well, I haven't been to the North Pole and I haven't been to Iceland. Those are three places. I mean, the two places I haven't been yet. Mainly because I hate the cold. So you won't find me to. You always find me in the warm areas during the wintertime and all the hot areas during the summer.
Yeah, I think I'm the same with that side of things.
Yeah, I can't do the cold. I hate the cold.
Yeah, not sure why anyone would, to be honest. Now, now
Right.
I'd like to talk a bit about show day as well. So, for you, what does a show day look like from the moment you get up until the show starts?
Oh, that's the only thing that's on my mind. The show days, that's all it is. I get up in the morning, I go work out, I go eat, and then after that, I'm just thinking about ways to kind of perfect the show or something that I could add to the show that the last city didn't have. So I'm always trying to give each city something special that the other city didn't, be able to experience.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
fair enough. And just before you step on stage as well, is there anything you need to do, or is there anything you can't do before you step foot on stage?
Eat. I don't eat before I step on stage. I don't eat before I step. I did that one time and I had the craziest cramp on stage. I said, never again. Never again.
Yeah.
And I
Say
had to
no to
play
that.
like everything was okay. Can you imagine? Like, it's the
Got that.
worst, boy. You got to pretend like nothing's wrong.
Yeah, got through it though, which is good.
Yeah, you
And
know,
you've been around for a fair few years now, over 20 years releasing music.
easy.
When you were releasing music right at the very start, when you got those number ones here in the UK and the US, elsewhere as well, did you realize when you were writing and releasing those tracks how big they were going to be to a point where they're still played and known today?
I prayed for it because one thing I knew that on the music side was that it wasn't, predictable. You never know what's going to happen. All you can do is pray that the record is infectious and that people support it and then it lasts forever, right? And you just pray for that. Like I didn't care if the record was a hit. I just wanted it to be remembered. And that was all that mattered, man. So I was super, super blessed that, a lot of the songs that I did do is actually still alive today and kicking.
Yeah, and obviously looking back to then, that's kind of what kick-started your career into being able to do this full time. You must be appreciative of all your fans and all
You
the
have
stuff that
no
you've done.
idea. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Akon to talk about his new record and more. Now, we are all over social media, so come and find us at The Sound Lab, yes, on all the socials. And you can also check out the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. So while you go and check us out on all the socials and give us some follows, of course, we've got our next interview from Dodgy. They too have been releasing some brand new music. We had a chat with them all about it. So Dodgy, how are you?
Very well, thank you. On a nice sunny day in Wales.
Yeah, the sun has just come out, which is nice for this time of year. And I suppose it's quite warm in the sun, which is good.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, we've been playing a single of yours called It's Not the End. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
It was sort of the last song we did for the album, actually, and it's sort of we recorded the album last year over in Wales, actually, over a sort of a period of weekends that we had spare in between gigging. We did a lot of gigs last year, so it was, but yeah, it was the last one I did, and I sort of just wrote it on a drum machine. I do a lot of writing because I live away from everybody, and I've always worked with drum machines, and I got the groove, and I didn't think much about it really. I thought, well, I liked it, but I never recorded it. I just did a live video to YouTube of it. So it's actually on YouTube if you want to see the original version, the only original version. It's on my page on YouTube. So I was testing out. So it was like a more of a test. And then I played it, the band, and Matthew didn't remember it. And Stu, the bass player, was like, we should do that. And I was like, I think that as well. And it's come out brilliantly. I'm absolutely over the moon with it. And it's sort of, it's kind of like a minimalist thing. It sounds like it hasn't been overthought, which is quite a nice feeling with music sometimes. Because there is a tendency in the studio to just put the kitchen sink onto a recording and then you sort of like realize you've lost your recording a little bit, but it doesn't sound like that. It sounds very fresh. And it is not, I mean, it's not even a year old, as in like the lifespan of its birth, because I do think of songs as being like children.
You've got some old children then.
Yeah, yeah. With grandkids.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We'll get onto that a bit later, shall we? Because I want to talk about the new record, Hello Beautiful, which is coming out on the 1st of May. What can we expect to hear on the record?
I think I feel that I had the last time we did an album, it was a really difficult process because the label sort of left us in the lurch and I had to finish it, and it took a lot out of me, and I was kind of like determined not to do another Dodgy record. And then this one came along and we got a deal, and the guy, the record company, um, Nick, he was also a producer engineer, so he took all the heavy lifting of the computer work that you have to do with the multi-tracking. So I didn't have to do that. So this album's been a real joy, and I think it sounds like a real joy. It's probably my favorite album we've done because all the songs work together. We had more songs, but we didn't want to put them all on because sometimes it means, you want to keep the story quite straight rather than having like some curveball song over here. So I feel that it's quite all the songs are sort of about the same sort of thing, not about the same sort of, but they fit in like a jigsaw puzzle. Yeah, the process was great, and it was an honest process. I just knew what I wanted, and I think it's really important as a songwriter that it starts at tempo. And then the second thing is key, and then the key and stuff like that. And I got that right, and it doesn't it sounds like Dodgy, but it doesn't sound like Dodgy. As you know, with It's Not the End, it's probably not what you were expecting. But it's the side. We're all humans, and we all have that side of the communication with It's Not the End. If you're still talking, then it's not the end. And I think it's a strong song in that way that if your mind made up or is it up for change, is quite a poignant lyric for this day and age where we just seem to not, as you know, what's going on in the world. Don't need me to mention it.
No, yeah, that's we won't get into that, shall we?
No.
Now, the sound that you've made with this record, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of just how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
I think that's the great thing about being in the band is Andy, when I played everybody the song and we started jamming it through, especially It's Not the End, Andy came up with the guitar part, which was just like this sort of atmospheric, but it's also like sort of hypnotizing guitar line. And I hadn't expected that, so it just bumps it up. So everyone that does it outweighed my expectations, definitely. Like it was a brilliant performance by the guys. I'm so proud of everybody that's been involved with this record. It's because it was a lot easier than I expected, especially taking into account the last album, which was very difficult.
Is it the 10-year gap between the last record and this one? Is it simply because of you not enjoying the writing process and the label issues last time around?
Yeah, I mean, I write all the time, so I'm always doing music. So it was obviously I did, and I also feel that the industry is in such a turmoil, and it's so hard to put music out now. I mean, we're lucky, in the sense that we were part of the golden era in the 90s, when people did actually buy music. It's a very difficult industry to be in. But yeah, we simplified it. We just go to the studio. It's not like I've listened to the song 10,000 times. I've did that before, and by the time the end of the album comes out, you can't even hear the songs. But with this, I'm still just when I hear It's Not the End or Hello Beautiful, which are the two songs we've released, I'm just so happy. I think we've done it. I think it's just like that's how I feel. I feel like I've done it. But I don't want to be any busier. So, when you do a really good album and you're like, I fear that we're going to be like asked to do gigs all over the world, and I don't want to do that. Don't tell the band.
Yeah, well, that's your own fault for writing good music. So
probably, yeah.
And I like to talk a bit about the writing process as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
For me, I mean, I do. It's a strange one. It's a real strange one, especially with like a few of these songs and Hello Beautiful. Because I've got my own studio, I really like electronic music, so I dabble in electronic music. So a lot of my ideas formulate in with drum machines and arpeggiators, and then I sort of work out some chords, and then I pick up my guitar, and then everything just goes back to that. So I just jam along with my guitar, and then it becomes a real song. But I like the way that they come from, a different sort of perspective. A lot of my songs, like Good Enough was a song that I got from a breakbeat, playing, jamming along, and samplers. So I've always used that sort of thing. I just like that sort of thing. And I do, like writing a song on a piano, but invariably I like to experiment and then all the experimentation, and then you just go back to what you do. You're jamming along with all this experimentation and you do a 3-minute pop song again. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter. It's the only way which happens, really. But I enjoy that. It is different.
yeah, good, good. You've touched on the track "Good Enough," and going back to that time, you'd obviously been around for a few years, and you had a few chart songs out there. But did you realize how big "Good Enough" was going to be? Even today, the track is still played and heard by a lot of people. So, what was it like back then?
Back then, I did. This is weird that I did. I remember saying to Matthew when we recorded it in Wessex Studios in North London, where Talk Talk and London Calling and Sex Pistols and all these specials, all these amazing bands, and it's an amazing studio. And I remember saying to Matthew, I said, "This is going to last forever." This song, I just felt it. I just felt that. But then, it's easy to say that, but like 30 years on, and for it still to be played on the radio a lot, and yeah, it's remarkable, and everyone knows it. It's just like it's crazy. I mean, I'm so privileged to have that as in my catalogue. I mean, it didn't take long to write, if I'm honest. And it's probably not even my best song, but it's my most famous song, and it's we call it Uncle Good Enough. Do you know what I mean? Because it gives us pocket money every quarter.
Yeah, much much needed, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're heading out on tour shortly with your tour in a couple of weeks' time now with your Hello Beautiful tour. But you can't wait to be
Yeah, we're
doing that.
doing that. I'm really looking forward to that. I just can't wait to because we're going into rehearsals in April, so we haven't really rehearsed the songs through. That's the real fun thing. We obviously recorded them and put them together when we were in the studio, but we haven't done anything like that since. And then so in April we get to put them all together as a band and start playing them live, which is very exciting. I can't wait. I'm just so excited about it. So it's a big tour around the country, around the UK. Yeah, and it's the singles had so much like so many good reviews from all over the world, which is you forget, you kind of think, oh, it's just the UK, but it's not. It's Philippines, Sri Lanka, it's all these mad places that we never really went to in the 90s, but people have obviously accessed it because of Spotify nowadays, which is, it's great, even though you don't get any money from it. It's still nice. I mean, if it was all about money, we wouldn't be doing music, let's face it.
No, absolutely, no, absolutely. And not only that, but you've got a tour coming up later this year because Three Piece Suite turns 30 this year. How are you catering your sets between this first tour and the one later this year?
That's a good question. Well, we'll obviously have to revisit that again. I mean, we did it a couple of years ago, the three-piece suite, because it was 25 years during lockdown. So we got it all ready, and we did it in its entirety with all the little samples in between. So that was real fun. I'm starting to work on visuals for both tours actually, because I've got really into like visuals and projecting behind us and stuff like that. So that's going to be a lot of fun collecting all those sort of images and yeah, I just like the whole thing really. It's just I love being on tour. I just absolutely love it. Now you've got one album that's going to be new and then one that's 30 years old. Three-piece suite never going to age really because we were always stuck on like authentic instrumentation, acoustic guitars, pianos, a few little synths in there, but it will never age. So it's kind of always a joy to go back to really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'd like to talk about show day as well. So for you, on that show day, talk us through your day itself from the moment you get up till after the show.
Right, normally it's like so. The moment I get up, I said I don't like to rush to gigs. I used to do that, and like you get to gigs late. So normally I'll head off the day before if I can. So the first day of the tour, because I live in West Wales, which is miles away from anywhere. Anyway, so I'll head off the night before, and then you get up, and I drive. You see, so I've got a camper van, so I drive a couple of the crew members to the gigs. I like driving. You have to like driving if you live in West Wales and do music. And then, yeah, we have a stop off and have a coffee. It's just normal. I mean, I feel more like a driver half the time until you make those steps on stage. And then when you go up on stage, it's like this is all you've been working all your life for. And it's an amazing feeling. I love it now. I didn't really like it when I was younger. I thought I was sort of pretending. I can do it, but I was pretending. But now I absolutely love it, and I feel so comfortable on stage with what we're doing and what I'm doing and where I feel my voice is. You know, it's like I think you just get better with age. You know, and I don't feel like, and I feel like, yeah. Personally, I feel that at my age now, in my late 50s, I'm at my peak, and it feels great. And I feel great, and I'm not kidding anyone. This is the real deal. And so, yeah, so stopping off at service stations, having a coffee, decaf. I don't drink caffeine. And just obviously getting ready. It's a lot. The first day it's going to be a lot with getting the visuals ready and the samples. This is for the three-piece suite tour, but they're bigger venues. But the first tour, this new one is just going to be exciting to play the songs for the first time ever live, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah, no, I can well imagine. And tell us a bit about just before you go on stage at that exact point. Is there anything you have to do, or is there anything you really can't do just before you step on stage?
Normally, I have to go to the toilet about twice in like 15 minutes because for a pee. It's just like, but yeah, you're sort of like, and then we'll all get together. I'm sort of raring to go. And I suppose because I said it does feel like I feel very, I like to feel very comfortable on stage, and sometimes I can play big festivals and feel like I'm in my living room. I feel so comfortable. I find that smaller gigs are harder sometimes because people are closer to you. But
I
yeah,
can see the reaction.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine to think how many gigs I've done in my career now. It's in the thousands, so I'm very used to it. I'm very seasoned, and I like telling a few stories and stuff like that with the songs. I feel very comfortable in that place, but it doesn't come naturally. It's been a lot of hard work to get to that point where I feel that really. It wasn't like that when I was younger. I was so nervous and so terrible. But I think we all are when we start out.
You learn, you live and learn, don't
Yeah,
you?
exactly.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Dodgy to talk about new music and more. Now, if you're listening to us on Spotify, then you'll be pleased to hear we also have a Spotify playlist. It's called Fresh, and it brings you 150 brand new up-and-coming artists that we feel like you might just enjoy yourselves. If you want to check that out, search Fresh by The Sound Lab on Spotify, or head to the website thesoundlabuk.co.uk and click on the Fresh playlist button. So while you go and check us out on Spotify and see all that we do, we've got our next interview from Ella Clayton. She too has just released a brand new record, and we had a chat with her all about it. So Ella Clayton, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks for having me.
Pleasure is all mine. So we've been playing a single of yours called As You Are. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
So I describe it as a bit of a friendship love song. Most of the songs on my album Could It Be You are written about romantic love, and I feel like friendship love is quite underrepresented, especially in my own music. So yeah, it's the last song on the album, and it's quite sort of trad folky in some of the elements of style, and there's a false ending, which was my producer's idea, which I love, and it gets really sort of folky jammy at the end, and it just felt like the perfect song to close up the project with.
Yeah, nice. And as mentioned, that is off your new record, Could It Be You, which is out now. For those who've not had a chance to listen to it yet, tell us a bit about the record itself.
Well, it's hard to sort of pin one genre to it. I don't know if you'd agree. It's like a soulful folk album, and I made it with my producer Lester Duval, and we wanted the songs to feel kind of as true to how I perform them live as possible. So we recorded the whole rhythm section in 3 days at a studio and played them all live together. So there's that real kind of energy between us musicians. And yeah, it's kind of the themes of the album are around kind of coming to terms with like life as an early adulthood life, and that kind of yearning for someone or something outside of me to tell me how to live my life right, and feeling lost and confused. And then there's also a lot of moments of kind of realization that it's kind of all within me. And I keep saying me, but it's more of a kind of open thing than that. It's certainly not like all autobiographical at all.
No, fair enough. And the sound that you've made with this record, was it the sound you wanted, or was it kind of how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't set out writing songs to sort of be a certain genre or sort of like with an end thing in mind. And there were some amazing moments in the recording process that were really surprising. For example, I Miss Strangers, sort of in the middle of the album, my guitarist, Alex Crawford, started playing this riff. And then we were like, oh, what's that? And then the percussionist Fabio De Oliveira started playing percussion along with it, and like before we knew it, we were all like wrapped up in this new direction, which was super exciting and thrilling. And that's like one of the best bits about collaborating with other musicians that you trust, is that it can go in these sort of directions that you wouldn't have anticipated. But on the whole, I worked with Lester, the producer, because he has like, I trust his taste a lot, and we both really wanted the album to sound organic and authentic, and so in that way I chose to work with him because I knew what kind of music he likes listening to and what music he likes making, and it definitely like fits within that world. But there were also some delightful surprises along the way.
Yeah, no, good. And I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto the record. What happens to those now? Is it a case of trying them again down the line, or will it be a case of starting fresh when the time comes?
Yeah, I mean, so some songs sort of never see the light of day, and they might morph into like Frankenstein, sort of pieces of them might morph into another song further down the line. I'm working on a new project right now, and we're being very strict on whether or not it's the vibe of the album that we're going for, whether it fits, whether each individual song fits into the kind of cohesive, broader sound. And so there were some songs that didn't make it onto this album, Could It Be You, but I don't think they'll be on the next one either. And what happens to them is something that we'll just have to find out. I'm really interested in maybe like making an acoustic EP where I just put some of these songs, because I do like them. I don't want them to disappear forever. Yeah.
Watch this space, I guess.
Watch this space.
And I'd like to talk a bit about the writing process as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
So it can vary. I write thoughts and ideas and sort of little phrases down pretty much constantly. It's like a compulsion. So in that way, I suppose most of the time the words come first. And then I'll have a kind of a bank of chords or little riffs or whatever that I've also just been like playing around with. That's quite a boring answer, but basically there's no set way of me writing songs, and as soon as I try and make it rigid or formulaic, I get really bored of it and write something completely opposite. What I'm trying to do now is write about other people and stories, and that's a real challenge for me because usually it's inspired by something that's happened, and then I'll try and kind of broaden it out or make it more obscure. But yeah, it's usually sort of the seed of an idea, and then it takes some sort of graft and work to sort of like hammer it out and let the song reveal itself as what it wants to be. So I have to sort of get out of my own way a lot of the time in that sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. And obviously now the record is out. People will want to see you playing these tracks live. Tell us a bit about the shows you've got planned this year.
So the biggest sort of album launch is on the 28th of May at the 100 Club in London. It's my biggest ever headline gig, and I'm very excited. And we're going to play the whole album with the full band. So that's definitely one to come to if you're in and around London. I'm also doing my first UK headline tour. Starts this Friday. I'm going to be in Leeds at the Hyde Park Book Club on the 1st of May, and then Band and Wall in Manchester on the 4th of May, the Grove in Nottingham on the 5th of May, and then finishing at the Bicycle Shop in Norwich on the 7th of May.
Nice. Yeah, I bet you can't wait to be doing your own little tour like that. And obviously I know we're quite close to festival season as well. Are you hoping to be on any festival lineups this year?
Yeah, I've had a few confirmations so far. So I'm playing at a lovely festival called the Late Spring Folk Festival in Wiltshire, and Smugglers Festival as well. And then me and my live agent are working on a few others, but hopefully we book some more.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And obviously we're then back into touring towards the end of this year. Are you hoping to be on the road again?
Absolutely. The plan is to get on support tours around the UK and Europe and see who I can support and just practice in that sense and gain experience. Yeah, I just love I love music. I love performing live so much, and having the chance to play in cities that I've never been to before, to rooms full of people that are interested in hearing what I have to say. It just feels so surreal and amazing. So I'm really, really looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, I bet. And are you hoping to go overseas at any point?
Yeah, definitely. Nothing concrete right now. I have played in Paris a few times, and I did a gig in LA a few years ago. I would love to book a tour. I mean, yeah, I think in my mind the plan is support tour and then my own headline tour, but we'll see.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Ella Clayton to talk about new music and more. Now, if you're loving all of today's interviews, then you can hear them once again on our Future Hits radio show. All these interviews come alongside a load of new music and a live session too. And if you want to check that out alongside the other radio shows that we do, head to the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, and click International Radio Shows. So while you go and check it out, we've got our final new interview, and it comes from the Fismits. They've been releasing new music, and hopefully we'll see them on the road very soon. So the Fismits, how are you?
Good, very good. Yourself?
Good, yeah, not too bad. Thanks so much. So we've been playing a single of yours called Scars. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Well, it was a song we did record with, well, we didn't really record, it was a demo from back in the early 90s with my first band called the Mind Theatre, and it's one of those songs that I always felt never got the legs it should have done. And it's one that was included in our Fismit set for many years. And then I decided let's Fismitize the track and revisit it a bit, and hence the single came out.
Nice. And that's coming off a new EP of yours called Falling Joy, due to come out 26th of June. What can we expect to hear on the EP?
Well, there's 4 tracks and an interlude, and they're all sort of songs from back in the day that I decided to haul out also. So Scars, the theme of Scars in terms of how it came onto the EP, the whole EP is the same sort of theme. There's a track called Independence, which we never managed to finish back in the 90s, and the same with a track called When. So they're all sort of dropping with, over the next couple of weeks till we get to the final release in June.
Nice.
So it's a good friend of mine who was in my band, who I thought is a phenomenal songwriter, and I wanted to do some justice to his songs and sort of reliving the past a bit.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the sound that you've made with this EP, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
No, I think it's the sound that turns out. I mean, I tend to I tend to quote Neil Young a lot when I get asked this kind of question. I kind of follow the song until the point where I'm kind of happy with it. Um, the songs on this EP are all slightly different sounding. I think the next single, Independence, sounds very different to Scars, in my opinion, and so does When. And the other track, Too Small a Word, again, more stripped down, less production-y. Again, is very different. I was really just working on the song, and I think the common thread is these are songs originally written by Bruce and with major input from myself, and that's kind of the package that we've put together.
Nice, yeah, nice. And I'd like to talk a bit about the writing process as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
It depends. I think in the early days, I used to focus very much lyrically because I wasn't really a singer and my guitar chops were not that much there. And then as I've got older, I think lyrically I've probably got less to say. And musically, I'm now so I think a lot of the later tracks come more from me playing the guitar or fiddling on the keyboard and coming up with an idea and then trying to work that idea and then going back to the lyric archive and seeing what's going to fit. I
Yeah,
think that's where it's going now.
yeah, and when you've got the kind of the music set and you go searching for those lyrics now, how easy and straightforward do you find it to combine the lyrics and the music together?
When you go back into your lyric archive and you look back at what you did, um, it doesn't quite fit the 50-year-old me. That 27-year-old Mark and 50-year-old Mark are two different Marks, I think. I sometimes go, oh, that's a cool line. I need to apply it, but maybe change it slightly. So it definitely is different. I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm now, I wouldn't say older, wiser, but definitely older, and 50-year-olds shouldn't be coming across saying these things anymore. So there's definitely a change that I've had to tweak certain things. Even on this EP, some of the lyrics, I kind of reinterpreted them slightly for the song. And yeah, I think that's basically, you go where you go, I think, and see where it goes. Some songs just fall into place, others take forever, lyrically.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you've been around in music for quite a while. How have you and how has your music evolved over those years?
Um, I think I've been around, but it's we being around what I always say, playing around in the C leagues kind of thing, never really breaking through. So you're always just pushing what you can or cannot do. So I haven't really got any points where I can go back and say, okay, this worked, so let's try to repeat that. It's kind of just going. I definitely think I've always had a great sense of trying a lot of production ideas and things that I hear and putting in them. I think if I follow my journey, it started off very raw because that's how I played, back in the 90s. sort of rushing guitar parts and things like that, sort of very punk sort of influence. And then there was a time where you tried to do too much. You tried to put too many guitars in there and too many of this and too much of that. And I think I'm now trying to find the pieces that matter. And if something is not doing anything specific, then let's leave it alone. Let's delete it and move on to find something that's going to work. So I think that's where my songwriting and production process is kind of heading right now. That's I suppose is a normal evolution. I'm not sure.
Yeah, everyone's different anyway, so it's what works for you, I guess.
Yeah.
And people want to see you doing some shows. What's your plan on doing some live stuff?
The shows are a bit of a problem right now, because the band is kind of very disjointed at the moment. The Fismits being a play on the word misfits is really because we were a bunch of guys that got together because lead singers and drummers stopped arriving at practices. And my keyboardist at the time just said to me, "Mark, sing your songs. Let's just go with that." So that's kind of how we ended. But then my keyboardist emigrated to the Netherlands. My drummer then later emigrated to the States. My bass player decided to become a school teacher recently, so he doesn't really have too much time to play. So the band right now is very much in transition. I'm trying to find a new drummer and a new bass player to help me do a few shows, because it really irritates the fact that I can't support this EP on the road a bit, because I would really like to be playing this stuff live. So it's a bit of a sore point right now, but it'll get solved.
Yeah, I bet. Are you hoping to? Is the plan when you've got the band together to stick to South Africa, or are you hoping to go overseas and maybe over here at some point?
I would love to get there. I mean, it would be great to do some more touring and get the band heard else, beyond sort of local boundaries would be fantastic. If the opportunity arises, I would probably jump at it. But it all depends on, the thing is, when you're at my age, and when I was 20, I was a risk taker. There was nothing to lose. You would grab your guitar and you would hear about a gig, a prominent gig 1,000 kilometers away, and you'd spend 2 days getting there to do it. Nowadays, I can't do that. I have families and all sorts of, there's too many X's and Y's in my equation. So I'm a bit risk averse, but definitely if the opportunity jumped, I would be there, because playing live is what really gets me going. There's two parts. The studio is amazing because you can slow down, you can be creative, you can be picky, you can almost get too detail orientated, which is painful, but it was exciting. You kind of have to go the wrong direction and then spend 3 weeks working on something to come back after a week of listening to it and delete it. You also have to have the guts to do that. Whereas live, it's spur of the moment, things happen and you go with it. And I miss that balance. I miss the live side because of that energy you get from just going with it.
Yeah, no, I bet. I like to talk about what a show day looks like as well for you. So talk us through what it's like on that show day from the moment you get up until the show kind of finishes.
It's pretty relaxed. I mean, I've been playing for a while, so I will have some form of anticipation, want to get out and get it done, I think. But the prep would have been done well before that. So I'll run through a few of the key points of the set mentally, or if we were doing a strategic cover on the evening or something like that, I would just make sure I've got the lyrics right in my head, because I like to throw in covers every now and again. Like if I'm playing on a Sunday night somewhere, I might throw in a Christian worship rock number or something like that, just for all the guys that didn't go to church that morning or something stupid. but I got to get the lyrics right. I know if it's, and so I'll just dot my I's and cross the T's there, and then sound check, and then we go.
And that moment just before you step on stage, is there anything that you kind of need to do, or is there anything that you can't do?
No, I think that the horse is bolted at that point. I think it's, I'm not like a cricket player that has to have all the toilet seats up before he goes onto stage or something like that. It's you just gotta go. You just gotta go with it, and you gotta trust that you don't break a string in the first opening riff or something stupid like that, and you gotta hope your guitar pedals are all gonna happen when you press them. That's it. It's gonna go where it's gonna go, and that's part of the fun. Actually, it's a roller coaster.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with the Fismits to talk about new music and more. Now, this is the part of the show where we like to throw back in time, and we're doing so back to 2020, where we had the pleasure of having a chat with the Pussycat Dolls. So, the Pussycat Dolls, how are you?
Good, thanks. Fantastic.
Good. So, I think the first place to start talking about is you're back with a brand new single, React. Tell us about the single.
Yeah, it's React. We've been gone for about a decade, and we were back and ready to push the envelope as far as we could. We gave a little bit of a hint during our first performance back on X Factor. And then, we threw down, we launched our video, and it's just been viral all around the world. There's hashtag React challenges happening. And we've just been performing on Ant and Deck. We did GAY, and people are they're showing up, they're supporting, they're showering us with love, and we couldn't be more grateful because we get to do what we've always loved to do and live the dream and be a pussycat doll, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got a new video to go alongside it. What was it like putting the video together for it?
Oh my God, that was the hardest thing I think I've ever done. I mean, we go hard as it is, but coming back, I think all of us really wanted to kind of step into a new place and be better, and challenge ourselves. And that's what we really do best. And we worked our butts off. We did the hardest choreography. The video shoot was like 20 hours long, and we did fire and water. And I mean, you name it, it was sort of the most challenging thing.
By the end of the video, dancing that close to fire. We all had soot coming out of our noses.
Yeah.
That's how far we're willing to push ourselves to make greatness.
I think the PVC melted on my leg. I was burning under
my tassels were melted together.
So listen, we're giving you everything. Yeah, exactly.
No, that's great to hear. And is this the start of more music to come from you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We're taking it one step at a time. React is our first big single back. We're focused on putting together the most amazing tour possible. And then, we're really hopeful to launch more music and just be creative and keep this Pussycat Dolls legacy moment going.
Amazing. So you took a big break, 9 years. What was the reason behind taking a break and actually getting back together?
I think at the time, everybody kind of had a moment where we needed to go do our own things and flourish and thrive on our own and step out as an individual, which was really important. And so that just makes us stronger coming back together because we've had life experience and just all this wisdom and families and kids. And it puts us in this new space to really kind of be super present and enjoy every moment of it to the fullest. So that's what's really, I think, resonated with people. It's relatable because we're not in our 20s anymore, and we are owning what we got, where we are, with these new bodies, which is an interesting thing. Kim and I have had kids, so just feeling different than we were, but not comparing, just being compassionate and accepting where we are and being the best versions of ourselves. So that's what we hope to inspire in other people too. I mean, there's a whole genre of powerful women right now out there, performers and artists. I mean, look at J-Lo, she's 50. I mean, it's insane. And just to respect that alone, I know there are mothers out there that have hit me up. They're just like, oh my God, you guys look so amazing. You're insane. And I'm like, and you can too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got a tour coming up across Ireland and Great Britain. You're looking forward to being back out on the road again?
Can't wait. Like, being on stage with these girls is the most powerful feeling ever. They're so beautiful and so incredibly talented. When we put all of our strengths combined, it does feel a bit like a big superhero moment. And tours where we get to shine and show everything the Pussycat Dolls is all about. We get to share it with the nostalgic music. We get to give the new music. We're going to come with the craziest choreography. And we are just ready, to tackle our unfinished business and share it with the world. So we can't wait to share it with everybody that's coming out to support.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. And is this the start of even more tour dates and obviously heading into festival season 2? Can we see you at any festivals in the summer?
Brighton Pride. Brighton Pride's August 2nd. We will be there.
Amazing. And hopefully you planning on writing even more, and is Nicole writing at the moment while you're here talking to me?
That's the plan. We'd all love to kind of have more parts and definitely have new music that features us all. And it's exciting. I mean, this is a new era and a new day for the dolls. So we're all about evolution. So, yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with the Pussycat Dolls from 2020. And that's the end of the show for another week, I am afraid. But don't worry, we will be back next week with more interviews. But if you can't wait until then, social media at The Sound Lab, yes, on all the socials. And you can also check out the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. And we'll be back next week for another episode of Interviews Unedited. Goodbye.